Alright guys, so I actually made the review a little longer than what you'll see on the test. The plus sign between here is pretty basic. We're just combining like terms. 3x squared and 9x squared is 12x squared. 11x and negative 4x is plus 7x. Negative 9 and 17 is 8. And that's the answer. Here we got to make sure we're matching the correct things up. X squared y goes with x squared y. 5 and negative 12, negative 7x squared y. Xy cubed goes with xy cubed. Negative 7 and 10 is a positive 3. Xy cubed. Xy squared and xy squared. 6 and negative 8 is negative 2 minus 2xy squared. Now, do you need to use different colors? No. The other thing you can do sometimes is use shapes. Hey, a circle here and a circle here. You know, a little triangle here, a little triangle here. All right, maybe a square here and a square here. If you want to put something underneath, you know, a different color. And you don't have to do that. You can just recognize, hey, I'm looking for the same terms and that's what I'm combining. With subtraction, don't be lazy. Copy the first one down and distribute a negative to every term. Minus 8x squared, plus 11x, and plus 19. 9x squared and negative 8x squared, x squared. 14x and 11x, 25x. Negative 11 and 19, 8. And that's my answer. Here, once again, I'm copying down. Negative 8x squared y squared. Positive 7x cubed y. Negative 5xy squared. X squared y squared. X squared y squared. 7 and negative 8. Negative x squared y squared. X cubed y. X cubed y. Negative 4 and 7, positive 3, x cubed y. Xy squared, xy squared. 8 and negative 5 is 3. And that's my answer. And those are our answers. We don't have to have the same terms. We do have to add exponents of similar bases. So 5x times 3x cubed, 15x and a fourth. 45x cubed. Negative 35x squared and negative 20x. I'm simply distributing the 5x to all four terms. Same deal here. I just got to make sure I add my exponents correctly. If there's no exponent written down, it's assumed to be 1. 5 times 2 is 10. X times x is x squared. Y times y is y squared. 5 times negative 9 is negative 45. X times x squared is x cubed. Y times y is y squared. 5 times 3 is 15. X times x to the fourth is x to the fifth. Y times y squared is y cubed. You cannot combine them anymore because they don't have the same variables raised to the same exponents. So there's nothing else I can go further there. The next one is basic FOILing, and in the end, if you can combine like terms, you do so. If you can't, you leave it. 5xy times 7xy is 35x squared y squared. 5xy times a negative 5x, negative 25x squared y. 2y times a 7xy plus 14xy squared. 2y times a negative 5x, negative 10xy. There's nothing you can combine here, so you just leave it. And the last last one, it's like foiling, only there's the extra term in there. But x has to go to all three terms, -3 has to go to all three terms, and we will have to combine like terms at the end. X times x squared is x cubed, x times 7x is 7x squared, x times -4 is -4x. -3 times x squared is -3x squared, -3 times 7x is -21x, and -3 times a -4 is a positive 12. And now I combine my like terms. 7x squared minus 3x squared, 4x squared. -4x and -21x, -25x, and then it's a plus 12. Of our test, and that is synthetic division and long division. All right. So, a few things here. I can do my check first, actually. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the check first, just on the first one. What number would go in the box here if it was synthetic division? It would be 2. So if I plug 2 in, okay, 2 cubed is 8. 2 squared is 4. Now I do my multiplication. 32 minus 12 plus 14 minus 9. 32 minus 12 is 20. 20 plus 14 is 34. 34 minus 9 is 25. That means I should get a remainder of 25 when I'm done. Whether I'm doing long division or synthetic division. I'll start with synthetic. 2 in the box. 4, -3, 7, and -9. We drop the first term. 2 times 4 is 8. -3 and 8 is 5. 5 times 2 is 10. 7 and 10 is 17. 17 times 2 is 34. 34 and -9 is 25. So I'd argue I probably did it correctly. Remainder, constant x, x squared. So I write that answer as 4x squared plus 5x plus 17 plus 25 over x minus 2. You have to write the final answer. Now, if I were to do this using long division, I need to rewrite the problem. X minus 2 into 4x cubed minus 3x squared plus 7x minus 9. What times x will give you 4x cubed? We're keying on this term and this term, and that's 4x squared. 4x squared times x is 4x cubed. 4x squared times a -2 is -8x squared. When I subtract, the first terms cancel. They always have to cancel in long division, those first terms. -3 minus a -8 is 5x squared. We bring the next term down, which is 7x. What times x will give you 5x squared? 5x will. 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times -2 is a -10x. 7x minus a -10. That's 17x. And we bring the 9 down. What times x will give you 17x? 17. 17 times x is 17x. 17 times -2 is -34. -9 minus a -34 is 25. And that's the remainder. Plus 25 over x minus 2. If you notice, I get the same exact answer each way. All right, here. So what do we got? Oh, hold on. Page here. Okay, good. So here, I'll do this. I'm not going to do the check first now. Now, I told you you do that check on every one of them where you put the number in, and when you put -3 in for x, it should give you a remainder. Okay. So here, I'm going to put -3 because that makes the parentheses equal to 0. 1, -3, 4, -5, 8. Drop the 1. -3, we get -6. 18, we get 22. negative 66, we get negative 71. I believe that is 213, and we get 221 as my remainder. So can you get numbers that high? Absolutely. Absolutely. It does happen. It does happen actually more than you probably like it to. Okay? But with that being said, you also have a calculator, so who cares? Remainder, constant, x squared, x cubed. So my answer, x cubed minus 6x squared plus 22x minus 71 plus 221 over the x plus 3. You do have to write the answer in that form. Okay? Now, the long division way, x plus 3, and that's x to the 4th minus 3x cubed plus 4x squared minus 5x plus 8. Just move this down a little bit more. There we go. Okay. What times x gives me x to the 4th? X cubed does. So we have x to the 4th plus 3x cubed. Negative 3 minus 3. It's not 0, it's negative 6. We've got to be careful with signs. Plus 4x squared, we bring down. What times x gives me a negative 6x cubed? Minus 6x squared. Negative 6x cubed minus 18x squared. And this is why the signs are important. 4 minus negative 18, that's 22. 22x squared minus 5x, bringing that next term down. What times x gives me 22x squared? 22x. 22x squared, 66x. Negative 5 minus the 66, negative 71x plus 8. What times x gives you negative 71x? Negative 71. Negative 71x. Negative 71 times 3 is a negative 213. And 8 minus the 213 is 221. Plus 221 over x plus 3. And you notice you get the same exact answer.